Anger is one of the fastest ways for a man to look powerful while proving he has no control over himself. It feels like power. That is why weak men worship it. It gives them that little rush, that little moment where they feel dangerous, important, untouchable. But real power is not losing your mind. Real power is staying dangerous without becoming unstable. A man with no command over his anger is not a king. He is a slave with loud mouth. Think about it. The second somebody can provoke you on command, they own a piece of your head. They do not need to beat you. They do not need to outsmart you. They just need to press the right button. And once they know where that button is, your strength becomes their weapon. That is not dominance, brother. That is exposure. Anger without discipline is like a Harley without steering. Impressive for 3 seconds, disaster after that. It wrecks marriages, wrecks deals, wrecks friendships, wrecks reputations. Men lost everything over one stupid moment they did not control. And the worst part is, most of them still think the problem was the situation. It was not the situation. It was them. More specifically, it was old fear, old frustration, old humiliation, old powerlessness boiling under the surface and waiting for an excuse. Anger is almost never about what just happened. It is not really about traffic, not really about disrespect, not really about the broken object, the late reply, the bad tone, the inconvenience, your boss having sex with your wife, or the guy acting stupid. That is the trigger, not the root. The root is usually fear or frustration. Fear that you are losing control. Fear that you are the little man. Fear that you are not respected. Fear that life is not obeying your will. And frustration that reality keeps refusing to move the way you want it to move. Put those together, and anger arrives pretending to be strength. Why? Because anger feels better than helplessness. Anger feels higher than sadness, more powerful than shame, more aggressive than insecurity. So men grab anger because it is the easiest emotion to mask their weakness. But easy is for stupid people. Because a man who lives in constant anger is telling the world something embarrassing. He is telling the world he is easy to shake, like a crybaby who thinks that mummy or daddy will sort it out. A lot of men learn this pattern young. Maybe they grew up around chaos. Maybe they had a father who ruled by intimidation. Maybe they were mocked, controlled, bullied, dismissed, or made to feel small every day. Or they are just a spoiled brat. Maybe they learned that peace can disappear in 1 second. Maybe they learned that the loudest man gets the final word. Maybe they learned that humiliation can live inside the home long before it shows up in the street. The boy grows up and swears he will never feel powerless again. Then life taps an old wound and the grown man explodes over something little. A scratch on the car, a little disrespect, somebody changing the plan, somebody saying no. Small event, massive reaction. Why? Because the reaction is not about the event. It is about the backlog. Years of swallowed humiliation, years of not feeling in charge, years of feeling cornered, handled, dismissed, talked over, controlled. The moment is tiny. The emotional debt behind it is enormous. That is why weak men overreact. Not because they are too strong, because they are carrying too much unresolved garbage. And if they never face that, they build a whole identity around being hot-headed. No, you are not hot-headed, you are undisciplined. Now here is the part you should hear. Anger is not useless. Anger is actually useful, a tool to get something done in your life. It tells you where you feel threatened, where you feel disrespected, where you feel weak, where you are still bleeding internally. It is human nature, brother. Remember, you are not a sociopath. It is normal to feel emotion. What I'm trying to say is, the issue is not feeling anger. The issue is obeying it as if it were your slave master. A disciplined man does not pretend he never gets angry. He just refuses to become stupid because of it. He studies it. He interrogates it. He forces himself to ask real questions. Why did that hit me so hard? Why do I need control this badly? What old fear just got activated? What frustration am I dragging around like a chain? That is where it all begins. Not in screaming, not in throwing things, not in acting like a reckless fool. In self-command. Because once a man understands the source of his anger, something changes. The heat starts dropping. The monkey reactions start shrinking. And that is a great moment. Because all the energy that used to go into rage, revenge fantasies, ego battles, and emotional stupidity can now go somewhere useful. Into work, into money, into discipline, into physique, into skill, into reputation, into building a life. That is what smart men do. They convert chaos into leverage. They stop flexing emotions and start producing outcomes. Anybody can lose control. Very few men can hold fire in their chest and still speak calmly. That is the man people respect. Not the loudest man, the steadiest man. Not the most explosive man, the most composed man. Because composure under pressure is one of the cleanest forms of strength on earth. So ask yourself the real question. Are you using anger as fuel, or are you using it as an excuse? Because if your temper keeps costing you peace, focus, relationships, opportunity, or status, then it is not your strength. If your mummy or your wife still has to keep bailing you out of bar fights, you are an idiot. It is your leak, and leaks sink ships. Fucking fix it, brother. Study your triggers, learn your patterns, build systems, slow your response, and stop glorifying emotional chaos like those live stream clowns chasing clicks and attention. The ability to stay calm while lesser men lose their minds is the goal. Because a man is not measured by how hard he can explode. He is measured by how much force he can contain, direct, and turn into results. That is strength. That is discipline. That is how a man stops being ruled by old pain and starts ruling his life.